Hey there everybody, I'm Ashley Robin Doyle and this is doyleARtv. Thanks for stopping by. Each week, this show will try to keep you up to date on what's happening in the world of augmented reality, virtual reality, and wearable computing. Not sure what I'm talking about? Click here for a quick rundown on what each of these three lovely bits of technobabble mean and do. With this show, I'm going to look at what's new in hardware and software, what's cool, what's happening, what's not cool or happening, that doesn't matter, what I've done, what you've done, and if anyone wants to give me a hand with this, send me an email to ardoyle@doylear.tv with "help has arrived" in the subject line. Your help is greatly appreciated and needed. Now, to business. What's new in hardware? In augmented reality news, when Google's head of Project Glass, Babak Parvez, told the IEEE Spectrum that augmented reality wasn't going to be a major focus of the Glass device, people freaked out. I have no idea why. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm as excited as the next geek about this gadget coming out. But really, people? Does your reality really fit into this 3x1 whatever piece of glass? Didn't think so. A true AR experience can only be had on a device that is more like a heads-up display than a little out-of-the-way screen. Just to see through the device, you have to hold your head very still and gaze intensely off into the distance. So, for the moment, the whole plus glass thing will sit in the wearable computing category of this show. Very similar to the whole plus glass thing is the Vuzix M100 smart glasses, due for release at the end of June, beginning of July-ish 2013. How do they differ from plus glass, I hear you ask? Instead of being a whole new interface style, the M100 shows a floating display of your screen. Now, because this is the current way of playing around with augmented reality, this is going to be where it's at. Current projected price is under the $500 mark, so while some people consider that to be a little bit pricey, are you serious? It's new technology. How much do you pay for your new iPhone every year? Yeah, thought so. For the virtual reality enthusiasts out there, Oculus Rift is amazing. The dev kits are due out for release April 13 and there's still no consumer release date. I'll keep an eye on that one, and if I win the lotto or something, then I'll fork out the $300 to get some hands-on time. An affordable, functional, very cool virtual reality experience like this is just what the gaming industry needs. I remember when virtual reality first came out in '93, I was in a commercial for it in Townsville, but the graphics just weren't there. I mean, I was only a kid when I did it, but I remember even then thinking that while it was cool, it didn't look real enough to be enjoyable. These days, the graphics are already just wow. And if you can create a fully immersive gaming experience like this, then it's going to be well received. Oculus Rift is aimed wholly at the gaming industry. In fact, the Rift's website describes it as a groundbreaking virtual reality headset for immersive gaming. So, while virtual reality and augmented reality hardware are wearable computing, this section will be usually reserved for the more gadgety bits and pieces like smartwatches or other things that don't really fit into the other two categories. Those of you who were at Google's I/O conference last year and were lucky enough to buy your very own Google Glass, the previously announced early 2013 shipping date changed to early 2013, we're going to invite you to join the Glass Foundry where we give you your units and then teach you how to use them properly so that you will like them. An update from IEEE Spectrum earlier this month noted that Google have made some improvements to both the hardware and software for the developers to play with. Reports have come out that Google's asked developers to sign a strict non-disclosure agreement, so I hope we see some leaked information soon. Please, please, please? The Pebble smartwatch has been shipped, kind of. Due to delays, less than 500 units shipped on the first day. A report from Gizmodo states that between 800 and 1,000 units are being produced each day. For those of you who don't know, this little piece of awesomeness is a highly customizable smartwatch that pairs with your phone via Bluetooth, costing about $150 US. I'm still going to keep my options open. There's also Sony's smartwatch, which is a very original name, but for me, I'll take the iWatch. This is the Dick Tracy watch, here and now. Phone rings, look at wrist to see who it is, answer it, and you speak to them through your watch. Sadly, there are probably a lot of folks out there that have no idea who Dick Tracy is, but in short, he was a detective who had a phone watch. Same thing. Check your messages, emails, calendar, Facebook, alarms, Twitter. If your phone does it, this does it. Probably. While significantly higher priced than Pebble's offering, ranging from $369 for a standard color option all the way up to $18,990 for the white gold with diamonds option, Yeah, who would buy that? Anyway, most reviews will tell you that the sound quality is fairly average, but if you're already a gadget lover, you've probably got yourself some Bluetooth headphones running your audio anyway, so really the watch is just a second screen for your phone, which is actually a big selling point for me. I've got my Plantronics Bluetooth stereo headphones, which alert me when I'm receiving call, and if I'm screening my calls, then I can't do that easily. I've got to pull out my phone, see who it is, and then answer or hang up. With the iWatch, the phone rings, I look at my watch, and I can ignore away. What's new in software? I'll go into app reviews in future episodes, but just to make sure we're all up to date, let's name some names. Qualcomm are AR deities, more specifically their Vuforia division. The work these guys do in education using the new AllJoin technology is fantastic. I'm so jealous of kids these days. I mean, I love Sesame Street as a kid, but I love some of the stuff these kids get to watch. I mean, Qualcomm is doing work along Sesame Workshop to really get the children's imagination running. They're also innovators of augmented and integrated reality industrial applications, working not only on the software side of things, but their bread and butter is mobile computing, and the new Snapdragon 800 series of chips, which they're hoping will play a big part in the latest and greatest of mobile devices in the future. Alongside them is Mateo. Mateo's specialty is creating exceptional AR development platforms. They have PC and Mac versions of their Mateo Creator platform. They have their own AR cloud content management system. They have kiosk design software. They also provide a free AR browser Juneo for users to view the content you create. On a side note, mobile browsers like this, LayR and Wikitude are the types of software that will be running our Glass and M100 applications and will be responsible for the way we view advertising and the world in general. The last one I want to mention is the AR Toolkit. Now, this is a great starting point for making some cool little bits of AR content. There are plenty of tutorials and a ton of documentation. It's been ported across many different platforms and has so many different plugins, iterations, whatever, that makes it easy to build in many different languages. These are just 3 great platforms for creating your own augmented reality content and have step-by-step instructions on getting started. So, what's cool? Augmented reality, that's what. Watch the videos I link to at the end of each show to see what I'm on about. The aforementioned almighty Qualcomm have been working on some augmented reality advertising. Advertising isn't cool, I agree. I hate commercials. I hate commercials that have absolutely no relevance to me even more. So much so, I'd rather augmented reality take control of it, and if I have a specific application for a company that I like installed, then I could see the ads that are more relevant to me. I'd probably still just ignore them like I do now, but there's more chance of me taking notice of it if it's something I'm actually interested in. This is why we get all the tracking cookies and advertisements on Facebook. When you like something, you're just going to see more of it. Same sort of thing. To put it another way, this show is an advertisement for augmented reality and those other 2. You are choosing to watch this advertisement. Advertisement works if people are being shown something they already have an interest in. So what's happening? The next augmentedly virtual reality conferences I could find are, there's GRAP from the 21st to the 24th of February. Now, from what I can tell, this conference isn't for the fanboy like me, but if you're a developer or are right into the technical and graphical side of things, then this one's probably for you. Mobile World Congress from the 25th to the 28th of February. This one looks a little bit more like my style. The more gadgets on display, the better. BioDevices 2013 conference in Spain from the 11th to the 14th of February. Again, this one is for the incredible brains behind the technology, but you can't get more wearable computing than brain-computer interfaces. And of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention the Glass Foundry conferences that have already happened. With full respect to Google's non-disclosure agreement, I hope to see some leaked reviews sooner rather than later. What's not happening that maybe should? Here I want to take a couple of minutes to talk about augmented reality and social networking. We have all the tools to make this work, but some people have even given it a real go, but no one has successfully implemented an augmented reality Facebook or Twitter or Foursquare or Google+, Pinterest. Insert whatever social media platform you want. I can't find where it's been done, or at least where it's been done properly. Let me know if I'm wrong. I mean, I hope I am, but yeah, show me what you've got. I've had a look, believe me. I've searched them all. Yes, I have found attempts at getting this done. They still come up short. Facebook had nothing deserving a mention. There was Check-in Plus, but womp womp. Twitter had Twitteround, which gave users a visual representation of where the tweets they were receiving were coming from. Foursquare had AR Streets. Now, this, I must say, actually made me want to go and get into Foursquare. I just don't get out enough to make it worthwhile. Pinterest, Google+, nothing. I think I know what's stopping this from being a success. I mean, I know it's going to change, but the reason this hasn't taken off yet is because if it had, then everyone would walk around like an idiot. So hopefully Google is just waiting for the hardware to launch before the software comes out, which is perfectly understandable. However, you have companies out there like Vuzix who have been doing the whole augmented reality goggles thing for quite some time now. So people have already had the opportunity to start making apps with this type of technology. But why hasn't this taken off earlier with those product launches? Because those companies aren't Google. It sounds terrible, but these companies don't have the visibility and reach that Google has, which is really unfortunate because had these other companies gathered momentum earlier, then I think the technology would be either more advanced or would at least have been released sooner. So where does this leave us? Which social media giant will be the first to endorse this new technology? Why would they even want to do it? How can we make mobile augmented reality socially interactive? Well, we can start by turning this into this. Twitter, Pinterest, Foursquare, Google+, for now. But they have this on the way. So you think they'd be preparing Google Glass for this type of interaction now to make the transition then easier? We'll see. If anyone wants to talk to me about this, get in contact with me on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and YouTube, and carrier pigeon, whatever works. If you can find me, awesome. Now, what have I done? I started the show. That counts, doesn't it? I'm going to be working on an app for the show, and that's enough for now, isn't it? What more do you want from me? What have you done? No idea. So send me what you've got. YouTube demonstrations of hardware, applications you've designed, concepts and ideas. If you've got any cool little tutorials, if you've done anything, and I mean anything to do with augmented reality and wearable computing, then I want to know about it. Send me an email to doyleARtv. Visit the blog at doyleARtv to keep updated with all new episodes and features, and maybe even some stuff that didn't make it to the show. Thanks for listening to my random ramblings. For now, I'll leave you with some links to some of my favourite bits of the not too distant future. Until next time, AR Doyle out.